Not 1, not 5, not even 10, but 19. You guys have sent me an article from our friends over at ScreenRant talking about how there are 19 characters who are way more powerful than Naruto. I'm not even gonna waste your time, let's get right into it. At number 19, it looks like they went with Shikamaru Nara beating Naruto. Apparently Shikamaru is way more powerful than Naruto. Now the first thing I noticed is that if you guys can see, there's an asterisk right next to Shikamaru's name. So it looks like this list has had some amendments to it. This means there is a second pair of eyes on this list, and it still somehow made it public on the internet, which is crazy to me. First of all, you mean to tell me that even though Shikamaru is a strategist, he is a genius when it comes to strategy. We know that, we'll give him his flowers. But what kind of prep time, if there is any, would prepare him for the likes of a Naruto? You mean to tell me that he could use the same shadow possession jutsu that was able to stop a Hidan, but he had to go all out for that? That's supposed to be able to stop Naruto? Now, which Naruto are we talking about? Are we talking about Naruto Part 1 in the Chunin exams? Or are we talking about Naruto end of series in Shippuden with the Sage of 6 Paths Jutsu? Or are we talking about, which Naruto are we even discussing? So this is obviously just a terrible start to the list, but let's keep going. At number 18, they went with Nagato, aka Pain. Now, when we're talking about Naruto in Sage mode, well, we can say obviously that he had to force Naruto to go to Nine Tails mode, so we can discuss that as well. But on the flip side to that, if we're talking about Naruto at the end of Shippuden, Nagato does not stand a chance. And we know that Nagato is one of the best users of the Rinnegan. We've seen it. We've seen this 6 paths already. We know there's a form that can remove souls. We know there's a form that can use Shinra Tensei and push everything out. Literally decimated Konoha. And we know, like Naruto, Nagato also has an incredible amount of chakra. They're Uzumaki clan members. We know what's going on. But it is Naruto we're talking about, guys. I don't care what Pain did to Konoha. That was Sage Mode Naruto. That was, if we're talking about Naruto in the 4th Great Ninja War, what is Nagato doing to that Naruto? Let me know. Coming in at number 17, we're going with Boruto Uzumaki. So this is something that we're very hopeful for the future. This is what I'm getting from that. I'm not saying that Boruto won't eclipse Naruto's strength in the future, but do I think he's done it right now? I don't think so. But let's say this, I've watched a decent chunk of Boruto. I'm not all the way caught up, but I've watched enough to make a decent assessment on this. I would say if you want to talk about the potential of Boruto, then we have a conversation. But Boruto clearly is not there yet. But let's see what they had to say. In the case of Boruto, he comes from 2 very powerful bloodlines, the Uzumakis and the Hyugas. He clearly has immense chakra levels, which allow him to outlast many of his enemies, just as it did Naruto when he was a child. Boruto also picks up skills faster than Naruto ever did, like creating shadow clones or mastering the Rasengan. He's on his way to being far more powerful than his father without the benefit of a tailed beast chakra inside him. Of course, thanks to Kara, he is able to access the power of the Otsutsuki as well. So we already know what they're hinting at. They're hinting at borushiki, they're hinting at all of these things. The potential side, I see where you're coming from. But obviously he's not there yet. They're just talking about the potential, so let's keep going. At number 16, they went with Sarada Uchiha. So another hopeful for the future pick. We're going with these Boruto characters, but listen, they are kids. First of all, I'm not even gonna say this won't happen, but has Sarada even unlocked her Mangekyo Sharingan yet? Can y'all let me know? Maybe I'm missing something, because like I said, I'm in the process of catching up on Boruto, so maybe there's something I haven't seen. Maybe there's something that happened in the manga that I don't know about yet. But based off this pick right here, it's too early. ScreenRant, I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but it's too early to be putting Sarada in a conversation with one of the greatest Hokage of all time. Has she even unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan yet? Have we even seen a Susanoo from Sarada yet? I mean, can we let her really put in work before we start putting her in the Naruto conversations? Same thing with Naruto-san Boruto. Let's see what's going on with number 15. At number 15, they went with Rock Lee and Might Guy. So I don't even understand how this made it past 2 people to make it into this article, but I would question why they have all the faith in the world for taijutsu users and just are completely ignoring what senjutsu can do. Not saying that taijutsu users can't get busy, because Rock Lee and Might Guy are the best there is when it comes to taijutsu. We know what they can do, obviously the 8 gates and things like that. But when we really analyze Might Guy's fight against Madara, and I've said this on multiple occasions, he had help. He's not touching Madara if Kakashi, Gaara, Minato, and Rock Lee aren't there blocking those True Seeker orbs so he can get inside. We know that he needed help because taijutsu users have that handicap. that they have to rely on melee attacks, and that would make it easier for Naruto to exploit that in battle. I'm not saying he's beating them easily, but Naruto can get through a Might Guy and he can get through a Rock Lee based off the fact that Naruto can use Kurama mode and go and use Biju bombs and things of that nature. The fact that he has access to the Sage of Six Paths Jutsu just makes his argument completely irrelevant. At number 14, it looks like they went with Orochimaru. Now, looking at this excerpt, they were talking about how Sarutobi was fighting with Orochimaru, and Orochimaru was able to survive the Reaper Death Seal, and he may be the only shinobi left in the ninja world that can actually perform that type of jutsu. But I would have tackled this a different route. I would have tackled this by saying that Orochimaru is one of the most intelligent shinobi to ever be created in the Naruto series. The fact that he has a vast knowledge of all types of ninjutsu. The fact that he's pretty much impossible to kill because he's constantly switching forms, switching through bodies. He has curse marks everywhere. He's just so savvy when it comes to staying alive. But we have to remember also that Orochimaru had a lot of shortcomings. For one, he wasn't really a top tier boxer, because obviously you had people like Itachi that were always keeping him in check. As long as Itachi was alive, Orochimaru had somebody that had an eye on him. We know what was going on with the Akatsuki when Orochimaru joined. We know the type of tension that was built between those two. We can also talk about how Naruto already fought Orochimaru when he was in his Four Tails, and he was pushing Orochimaru to the brink. I mean, this is somebody that we see in Boruto that Naruto decided to keep around because he figured, listen, his knowledge is very useful for us, so I'll keep Orochimaru around. I won't just dispose of him. This is how powerful Naruto has gotten. So I'm not gonna sleep on Orochimaru's knowledge, but for him to really use that in combat, it makes it difficult. Unless you're giving him the handicap of him reanimating all the previous Hokage, ScreenRant, this doesn't make it either. Number 13, we're going with Minato Namikaze, and this is absolutely wrong. As we know, Minato is holding one half of Kurama and Naruto is holding the other half of Kurama. So they were both Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, but they both had half of Kurama's power. We understand that. But what is the Flying Raijin technique going to do against Naruto that was boxing against Ten Tails Madara with Limbo clones? I mean, can we stop this? Listen, Minato has already acknowledged that Naruto is on that level. The Sage of Six Paths has already acknowledged that Naruto is on this level. Naruto has reached such a high level that when we talk about all the previous Hokage, Naruto is the strongest. There should be no debate about that. You can bring up DMS Kakashi, who was close. Hashirama had things going on for him. All the Hokage were pretty nice, but Naruto has reached an insane level. At number 12, ScreenRant went with Obito Uchiha. So first thing I'm thinking right away is, if you're not talking about Jubito, if you're not talking about Ten-Tailed Jinchuriki Obito, I don't want to hear this conversation. You could talk about the Kamui, that's great. Naruto clearly outclasses Obito by the end of Shippuden. But if you're talking about the Ten Tails version of Obito, then we have a conversation. Let's see what ScreenRant had to say. All it took for Obito to defeat someone was a moment of physical contact, which would allow him to banish his enemy to another dimension using the Kamui. It took the presence of Kakashi in order for Obito's abilities to be countered, as he possessed the same abilities which were linked to his own Sharingan that had been given to him by Obito in the past. So you are further proving my point. The fact that Kakashi was pushing Obito to the brink answers your own question. At number 11, they went with Kawaki from Boruto. Same thing as Sarada and Boruto. Hopeful for the future. You could speak on his potential, but he's not there yet. So to have him on this list just doesn't make sense to me. At number 10, they actually went with Kabuto, saying that him in his Sage mode can actually take down Naruto, which is wrong. But what I will say is that Sage mode Kabuto is very slept on. I mean, the fact that it took Itachi and Sasuke in a duo just to keep up with him, and then they had to use the Izanami in order to really stop him, makes it incredible. Sage mode Kabuto is nothing to laugh at all. Listen, we can talk about the reanimation that he really mastered, which is what they talked about in the ScreenRant article, so he has access to that as well. His Sage mode abilities were insane. Granted, he was fighting in an area that was very advantageous for him. He was fighting in a cave. It made it a lot easier for him to hide himself and things like that. Not really going to work against somebody like Naruto. The amount of shadow clones that Naruto can produce, the amount of chakra that he has access to, the fact that he is a Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and the fact that he has access to Sage of Six Paths mode chakra, it just doesn't make sense for me to believe that Kabuto can take him down in his Sage mode. But I will say Sage Mode Kabuto is very underrated. At number 9, we're going with Yamato, which is probably one of the most blasphemous picks on here. It just doesn't make sense at all. You want to talk about the fact that he has the wood style technique, so he's able to subdue the 9 tails, as if that's all he has to worry about when he's going up against Naruto. Yamato himself already knows that he's outclassed at a certain point in time. Just the training sessions alone with Naruto were making Yamato tired. You think that he can keep up with Naruto now? First of all, if we look at the title of the article, it talks about 19 characters who are way more powerful than Naruto. All I've seen so far are characters that may have the potential or characters that have no business being mentioned in the same sentence as Naruto. And now you're bringing Yamato in here. I'm really confused. Let's keep going. At number 8, ScreenRant went with the remaining tail beasts. Now we're talking. Alright, so we already know that the 10 tails is a combination of all 1 through 9 tailed beasts. But when we talk about the fact that Kurama is the strongest, it begs the question if Naruto would be able to keep up with all the rest of the tail beasts all at once in his mode when he had half of Kurama. Because again, we have to remember that Minato had the other half and Naruto didn't get him until later. But if Naruto has access to both halves of Kurama, he has that full power, it would be a very, very good battle. At number 7, they picked Madara Uchiha. And there's only one thing I'm looking for. If we're going with Madara, there's only one thing I need to know. Let's see what they had to say. He had both the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and the Rinnegan, which he even managed to combine. Madara also absorbed the 10 tails and became its Jinchuriki. That's all I need to see. The fact that they mentioned 10 tails Jinchuriki Madara, that's all I needed to see. You got it. This is the first one I'm going to give to ScreenRant that they got right. 10 tails Madara, he got it. If we're talking about Naruto towards the end of the series, because we know how powerful he was in that mode. When it comes to fighting, Madara is one of the smartest shinobi that was ever created in Naruto. Hands down. At number 6, they went with Deidara. I'm confused. If we're talking about that crazy C4 that he has that can blow you up at a molecular level, I mean, I guess if Naruto is just in a daze and he catches Naruto off guard, but if I remember correctly, that takes time for Deidara to set up. He's not just gonna get that right off the bat, and Naruto has way too much access to way too many abilities and so much chakra that for him to really pull that off, he has to really weaken Naruto, and I don't know how Deidara is really gonna do that. But if Deidara was able to get that C4 technique off, I mean, I guess. At number 5, ScreenRant went with Choji, saying that he's way more powerful than Naruto. At number 4, we're going with Kaguya, and this is another win. Thank you, ScreenRant. This is number 2. When you're talking about the being that literally brought chakra into the world of Naruto, the person that gave birth to the Sage of Six Paths, like, of course. Their fight against Kaguya already proved her power. The fact that Obito had to give up his life just for them to have a fighting chance. He had to lend Kakashi his eye. We could talk about how Kaguya was constantly shifting dimensions. Yes, Kaguya got it all the way. At number 3, they went with Danzo. Y'all were doing so well. What's happening? The fact that Sasuke was able to off Danzo after Danzo had the entire Uchiha bloodline eyeballs all over his arms, he still was able to defeat Danzo, even after he was spamming the Izanagi. Yes, Karin was there helping Sasuke because she was healing Sasuke during that fight, but Danzo had access to so many Izanagis, it was crazy. He was spamming them. So the fact that you think Naruto would lose to this man when he lost to 5 Kage Summit Sasuke, let's stop. At number 2, they went with Momoshiki. Okay, this is something I can get behind. If we're talking about future Momoshiki, obviously he outclasses Naruto. He goes crazy, the taijutsu, the fact that he required an adult Sasuke and an adult Naruto to duo and team up in order to keep up with him on an even playing field. Yes, Momoshiki got it over Naruto for sure. That's number 3, ScreenRant. I'm proud. And to finish the list, they went with Sasuke Uchiha, which is flat out wrong. I know some people are going to try to make a case for this because it is a close matchup, but in my eyes, Naruto, obviously, we've seen them fight. And I do think that Naruto had the edge over Sasuke. Now, Naruto did not win by a landslide, but he did stop Sasuke from doing what he wanted to do, and Naruto ended up getting what he wanted out of that outcome. Now, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you think, because out of the 19 characters that they said are way more powerful than Naruto, I only saw 3. So who would you take? Who would you leave off? Who would you accept? And with that, I'll see you next time. Peace.